Good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening, good, whatever. Welcome to a new Coffee with R, Un Café con R in Spanish, uh, sponsored by Foundation Calanit in Santiago, Chile. You can see behind me, I get in Baku, but this is special because you can see this is COP29. Why is COP29? Because my guest, Leyla Aliyeva, she is a great person, head of project management at DNL Translations, and we will be talking about different subjects and topics that she engaged over there. So welcome, Leyla. But Leyla is in Turkey. So where are you now in Turkey?
I'm in Çeşme, actually, which is the province of Izmir. If you know Izmir, hi, by the way, hi, everyone. I'm in Çeşme right now, so sending regards from Çeşme. My extended family is from here. They live here, so my husband's family. So that's why, some family visiting, some tourism. I love to travel, so today I'm joining you from Çeşme.
Very good. And well, again, thank you very much for joining One Coffee with R. Let's go to the show, and I would like to learn or to speak about what was the learning as a key to success in your experience at Le Roche, one of the world's leading hospitality schools, and we're in Marbella, Spain. So let's go on there.
Yeah, of course. So when I say Le Roche, a lot of people, or in general, when you talk about universities, most people would focus, I think, on the academic side of things, like the classes that I taught, which I learned a lot in class, of course. But I think the thing about Le Roche, and perhaps schools like Le Roche, like there's Lausanne and there's Lyon, there are other hospitality schools, leading ones, is that they teach you a sort of work ethic and professionalism that you can carry into any industry. And honestly, every day I do, like every project I take on, every entrepreneurship activity I take on, I always still see the value of all that work ethic and profession go away from Le Roche. Like honestly, it was incredibly useful for me, for anyone looking to study something in the field of hospitality. Like, it's worth investing in your education and choosing to go to one of these schools, because I can't explain. Like, its work ethic it sounds simple, but to me, it's like the backbone of a successful entrepreneur. It's the backbone of a successful leader. And it's the stepping stone for a brighter future, basically. And I'm thankful for that, honestly, every day. Obviously, academics too, but I think that I can remember my professors in the corridor, like, telling us to pay attention to our business attire and our dress code. And from that basic thing to even the way we speak, the way we greet customers and clients, and all of that together, it builds such a professional in me that I used to be a very shy, timid person, like in high school and everything. Once I open up, I'm okay, but at first I would be like the shyest. You couldn't see me today at this podcast talking like that, but because of all that confidence that it gave me, it just brought me to another level. And honestly, that would be my key takeaway from my college years, honestly.
That's great. How many years did you spend in Spain?
It was 4 years and a few months. Let's say 4 years and a half approximately.
So you're able to speak some Spanish also as well?
Sí, claro, pero sin ninguna práctica, por eso es un poco difícil cuando no tienes práctica. Ahí en Azerbaiyán o en Canadá no tenemos tan oportunidades para practicar. Por eso no tengo mi confianza. I'm sorry, sometimes I make up words.
No, let's switch to English. But what's fun is that we can show that we can go from Spanish to English, and it's a good thing. And what's important is education. Education is so important when you're going to, you're thinking you will become an entrepreneur and you're looking out of your place. Your comfort zone. You need to have some education. Plus, also, it was very good for you to be in another country, which is totally different from Azerbaijan. And then learn from that experience to go back to Azerbaijan, and then is my next issues. After working, you went to Hilton Hotel and
Mhm.
as an events coordinator and market executive. And also, I think that you also you developed some skills over there from that experience. Can you tell us about a little about that?
Hilton, yeah, was an incredible experience as well. Like in Azerbaijan, we actually say that, like in the hospitality industry, they always say that Hilton Baku is like a school for hospitality professionals because, like, it teaches you a lot because it's a hotel at the center of the city, at the heart of, like, let's say the financial, the business district. So a lot of and I was doing events and marketing, so I was always in touch with a lot of high level professionals in, like, the corporate industry, ministries and government offices, as well as huge sports events like Formula One, Euro 2020. So I was in this, yeah, I we did a lot of, like, we were the media center for Formula One every year, and we still are, like Hilton still is. And also in the Euro 2020, we were, which was in Baku, a part of it. We were home to the football teams of the national football teams of Wales and Czech Republic as well. So, you know, it was a huge experience to work with so many huge names and organizations, but from so many different spheres of life. So it wasn't just corporations that I was working for, or government offices. Like, I was, one week I was handling a group of 200 people, let's say from the parliament of Azerbaijan and different parliaments around the world. The next week I was housing the Formula One team, like members and drivers. Every week another different experience. Every week it was a different exciting opportunity and project. And I think what Hilton gave me a lot was project management, was like, because every event in its essence is a project, and you have to start the project from zero. So you need to do your offers, your proposals, setting up everything, planning and everything to the very end, which is when you deliver the project. You make sure everything's fine. Then you do your post-project paperwork and everything. It sounds mundane, but project management, it's like I always dream of it like, you know, like a road trip. Like, you start from one point and you take the road trip till the very end, and then you reach your destination. So that's every project. And Hilton, honestly, mostly, I think I learned project management, whether it was a marketing project that I did, because I was the e-commerce executive. So I was handling e-commerce marketing, especially. So all those, in everything online related, it was me that I was handling it. Even the web, the social media I was supporting as well. So it was marketing that you can think of, any marketing online you can think of. So again, there it's also in essence of project management. So I think that was my first foray into project management and specializing more in events. That's what my biggest lessons from there.
Yeah, and if we can give a message to new entrepreneurs from this experience in a short sentence, what shall you recommend to the new people who is coming on board in this idea of being an entrepreneur
I
from the
think
Hilton experience?
I think I recommend everyone to keep an eye out for opportunities, not just ones that are presented to you, but also keep an eye out to figure out what you can delve into. I was not hired for marketing. I ended up being a marketing executive because I didn't stay put. I always had an eye out for opportunities. I challenged myself, and it actually helped me develop skills that today as an entrepreneur I use.
Excellent. I mean, that's a good message. Now we are going forward in what you're doing, and we will switch over to DNL Translations. That's a company, it's a translation, interpretation service company, and you also added event management to your service. I may guess because of Hilton experience. So let us talk about your first customers there.
We started actually quite big. So because we already had some experience with translation interpretation with big organizations, like mostly the Parliament of Azerbaijan and some UN offices. So those were our clients basically when we first got into events. It was like big organizations. So it could be challenging. Of course, one could be a bit scared to get into like corporations or organizations like that, or government offices. But you know, confidence. I was very confident in my event management skills. I had a team that I trained very well, I believe, in event management, and They never disappointed me. They never could, but it's proud to see that people you train are also doing as good as that. And then we also we applied for the tender, and we got the tender of the Council of Europe in Azerbaijan. So that was huge. That was the biggest. So once we did that, was like events every month and everything. So like conferences, seminars. We also did social events like weddings and everything. But my first babies would be these, like the Parliament and the Council of Europe contracts. Those were like the first ones I can always think of. And they paved the way for a great success down the line as well. We have so many different clients from different areas now. And beautiful to see us growing every year more and more. And it's a woman-owned business, so it makes me even prouder.
In this case, you really opened your eyes because you went from translations to events management, and that's a big change. I mean, because it's two different avenues in the business. Then because we were talking about Hilton experience, I mean, I can see, or we can demonstrate to our audience that if you keep an eye and open your eyes and there's an opportunity, you can catch the opportunity and go for that. And also you like it because I can see on your eyes and your energy. I like what we are doing about events management. And I mean, it's also very nice. Let me go to the main course. And this is why we have here COP29. And I know that because we were talking before about this one some weeks ago when we first met, you were the sole provider of interpretation services at COP29. Is that right?
Yeah, Interactio. So we were the local partners of Interactio. Interactio is a Lithuanian company, and they were the sole providers of interpretation. And they hired us as their local partners, and Giandel, I mean, my company, and myself as a senior coordinator specifically.
You have like your 50 interpreters and 10 coordinators working for you. And I would like, if you can tell the audience, how was that experience? Because at COP29, then over there, you were able to talk with many, more than Formula One, more than any other places. I mean, everybody went there from different places, different languages.
Yeah.
Was that experience? And I mean, please go ahead because this is important and it's our main course in this podcast.
It was a unique experience, like I cannot even explain, because the COP is like, I was at home, I was in Azerbaijan, COP29 was in Baku, but honestly, I always say this, it felt like for 2 weeks, even more, but for 2 weeks, I was in another country, let's say. It was like its own little habitat where everyone was just there for one purpose, to make sure this event goes ahead, this project is delivered successfully and reaches its destination, which is the final event of the COP, where they make the final decisions. But for 11, 12 days, 12 even, because even on the day off, we had a project, we had an event. It's just so unique. I like bringing together so many different people. Like, there are so many different people, I cannot even explain. There are professionals there from corporations, there are government officials, delegations, there are UN offices and other branches like that of international organizations. Then you have this people who are selling food at the food courts, you have the room attendants, you have the room managers, there's like the back of the office, there's people local, everyone's speaking English generally. Like, it's just completely like a unique habitat, and it was just so eye-opening. I learned something new at every turn, every opportunity I got. Again, I was not just sitting down and saying, okay, this is my job, I'm going to do this and that's it. I was always on the lookout for new opportunities, on the lookout for new things to learn. And I think that's like COP is the perfect place to do that, because you can meet so many different people. I cannot even explain. Like, met so many different people, was invited to so many different countries, and I have little memorabilia souvenirs from so many different countries and everything, because like everyone's there for a purpose, and everyone's so kind and so nice to one another, and so like open to communication. So it's perfect in that sense. That experience, like I will hopefully live again in the future, but an experience I have never had. It was just something indescribable. And honestly, there were challenges too. Managing 50 people plus 10 coordinators, It's like, one thing is, let's say, you're making an omelet, you use two eggs. It's the same egg, right? You just use the two same eggs, and that's it. Whichever one you choose from the carton, it's the same. But scheduling, coordinating 50 different people, 50 different personalities, 50 different likes and dislikes, 50 different skill sets and everything, remembering all of their skills. Like, let's say Roberto is good at financial topics, the other person is good at this one. It's just, but you get in the zone, and when you get in the zone, it's like I was a robot at that point, and I love being that robot. It's unique. Of course, you get angry, you get stressed, but being that in that state of mind, I'm looking forward to that again. It was like a thrill. It was very thrilling. Obviously, it's not for you have to be strong. You have to be understanding of what you're going into. It's a challenge, especially if you're in the organization side of things. It's challenging. It's not easy. It's sometimes very demanding. I was there every morning at 7. Different. It was a unique experience. But, you have to be ready to do that. You have to be willing to do that. And most people speak about, the general climate change and everything was obviously beautiful, but, there were people protesting in the corridors. There were people, there were people protesting because, there were some participants there who were ideally not really eco-friendly in their own fields. So, there were protesters protesting, but at the same time, there was someone giving out little booklets for like petitions to like, can you please sign this petition to make sunscreen like a medication for everyone to access and everything. So there's so many messages being given. I'm telling you, it's a part of communication. Everyone's trying to communicate a message. Everyone's trying to say something to one another, and everyone's opening to hearing one another. It's just beautiful. Like, it was really, I hope anyone interested in such topics would have the opportunity to attend. And this year we even had sign language interpretation for the first time in COP history. So yeah, I even had two sign language. Yeah, I had two sign language interpreters, and I learned some things. I don't want to do it now in case I do it wrong, but I learned some things. I really want to learn sign language. We had it was a great opportunity to even like see how they work, the process. I learned so much about. You see, I didn't know about sign language, that there are different types. I didn't know that you could potentially do it's text to sign or it's sound to sign. There are different types of interpretation. I did not know that, even though I'm in the interpretation industry. That's a different field. And now I got to learn that as well in the future projects. If I ever have that, I already know what kind of types there are and how to introduce them and how to even sell them. We're entrepreneurs. We're not doing this for free. We're not doing this as a favor. So, it's just every turn, every time I just had an opportunity, I learned something. And I think that's one of the biggest recommendations in any case.
That's the final message. I mean, every time I will learn something. Okay, and before COP29, what is next?
COP30, hopefully going to Belém. But I mean, I'm hoping to just in general grow as a event specialist, project management and coordinator specialist, not even just through my company, but even through my company, but not just as a company service kind of thing, but also as a consultancy kind of thing, because I'm really, really intrigued and interested by these temporary project-based tasks, say, not just 9 to 5. I'm not like a 9 to 5, go to the office every day kind of person. I've realized that for a couple of years now, but I love these projects with the dynamics. So I'm hoping through consultancy work or through any other type of temporary arrangement, I will hopefully get to Belém as well. And even if I don't get hired, just to experience COP again, I think I would even volunteer. Like in the worst case scenario, I would even volunteer, because it's just really, I recommend anyone interested to try volunteering even. It's unique, one of a kind.
Okay, so Belém 2030 is the next challenge for Leyla. I think it's good. And I do have a question for you. You're in Turkey now.
Yes.
Which is your main dish there? Which one do you like better?
There is something called beiti. I mean, yeah, beiti would be my recommend. If you're into meat, I recommend beiti, which is beiti sarma. They say it's like little. They make a meatball, they cut it, and then they wrap it in a little lavash. They say, which is like a thin bread, like tortilla bread. Or I would also recommend mezes. Go for the meze, which is like the little like appetizers, but what do you call this in Spanish? I forgot. Like little tapas. Yeah, like different tapas. You know, get the tapas.
Those are little tapas. Those are little
Yeah,
tapas.
yeah, exactly. So definitely try. And if you come to Turkey, if you need some recommendations, just text me or Azerbaijan.
Yeah, correct. And the Turkish pastries also as well.
Yeah, I'm not a big pastry, like not like a dessert person, big sweet
Okay.
person all the time. It's very specific. But yeah, they have amazing baklavas and everything, so you can try it.
Well, Leyla, well, first of all, thank you very much again for being here in our podcast. You were great, great. I mean, I like your energy. I like the way you see the future, the way you see the challenges, and everything. You're looking. You have your eyes very open, and you're looking every opportunity that's is passing there. So I can catch this one. I can take this one, or I can go for them. So thank you very much, and it's a good example. And for all our guests and people who is joining this coffee with art, we are going to have another guest, which is so good, so funny, and we will have fun also in that one. Again, Leyla, thank you very much for being here,
Yeah.
and bye now.
Bye.